Okay, so this is the final product. You are going to make a multi-exposure by camera. And then after you're finished, you're gonna then put it on paper with a title and an explanation and giving me all the information, okay? So I made one. I only have 3 images. You will be required to have 4, but let me explain how to put it together. So first thing you need to have taken your pictures and then open them in Photoshop. So I'm obviously have my pictures in Photoshop and I'm using 3 pictures. I have 3 pictures where I am in different spots, obviously, and I'm moving to the Move tool. I am going to only work with 2 at a time, so I'm going to minimize this. So here, I am going to copy one picture on top of the other and just then get rid of this. So if you have your layer box open, you can see, I don't even need my history here. All right, so I need to align up my pictures, and the only way to do that is to lower the opacity. And I'm going to zoom in to align up my picture. And I'm going to use the doorway. And you notice that it just kind of snaps right in. Okay. So if I go back to 100, this picture is on the top. If I do the eyeball, this picture is on the bottom. So which one do I want to erase? I think I am going to flip it. I'm going to unlock this layer and reverse so that I'm dominant here. So I'm going to then bring up this picture. So I'm going to select the top layer and lower the opacity on the top layer so that I can see the bottom layer. Then I'm going to choose the eraser, and then I see my circle, it's really small, so I'm going to go to the bracket and I'm going to make it larger. So the left bracket makes it small, the right bracket makes it bigger. Up here you can go and make the bracket, or the brush bigger and smaller. Make sure your opacity is all the way at 100, and then you can start erasing. Make sure you're on the top layer, like I said. Now, I would also zoom in. So Control plus, and make sure you only erase what is needed. If you zoom in, you will be able to do exactly just what you need, and you won't have to go over. It will be much easier to see what you're doing when you zoom in. So you want to go over you to make it complete. If you mess up, just edit undo or go back to your history, window history, and fix it. You can constantly zoom in, zoom out, and make sure that you get every piece that you need so that you don't mess up. So after you get the entire image, you then need to flatten the 2 layers. Before you flatten it though, you need to Make sure it's at 100%. All right, let's see. I'm going to go back up to 100. And I have a little bit, I was missing some of my hair here. All right, so I do not want to keep the two layers. I want to make sure I blend them. So I could save it like this as a PSD, or go to layer. I could merge down, or I can flatten it. All right, I chose to flatten it. So then I make it smaller. I'm then going to open up my other picture that I have in Photoshop, go to the Move tool, and copy that picture over. Notice my next image is on the right side. I have something on the left, something in the middle. So the one I'm going to add now is the image on the right. So now I need to align this. I am going to lower the opacity and align the doors again and enlarge to make sure it snaps into it. So then if you're not really good with the mouse, you can always do the arrows until it is perfect, because you really need to have it exact or it will not look perfect. So then I think that's pretty good. So then I'm going to go back up to 100, and once again I can only see myself. So I need obviously to unlock the layer that I just put together, and I need to reverse them. I need to put my solo one on the bottom so that I can see these two on top, and then this one is on the bottom. Now you see the bottom. I'm going to make sure I fill the picture, go over here. Now I need to realign it because I didn't have it perfect. And then I'll go and erase on the top layer again. So I'll pick the eraser and I will start to erase. Once again, I always zoom in because I need to make sure that I have everything possible. I don't want to mess up. And the floor sometimes can be a type that will change colors. So you want to make sure that you enlarge and only go over the person, because sometimes fluorescent lights flicker. So you don't want to like go real fast over the person and then see discoloration. Be very exact, or try your best to go slow and detailed. So I mean, you can zoom in and really make sure you get just what you need. So see how the floor is different colors there, but you can go back with your history brush if you wanted to fix that. Somehow I moved the picture. I don't know how. See how the doors are not aligned? That's weird. I don't know how that happened. It's weird. you mess up, you just delete that layer and start back. So you're going to need at least 4. So once you erase this, or erase and bring up your area, then you're going to flatten it and then bring over another person. And then when you finish, flatten it and then save it and add it to the paper and add the title and all that good stuff. So here I have to get my hand. So I just zoomed in, get my arm, get the rest of my sweater. Really take your time to get the details. And then I'm going to go back up to 100 and see how it looks. And I can see I have a little bit of there, so really double check and make sure you don't miss anything. Look, 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 look. Really make sure you look. Then I'm going to layer it, flatten image. Then I'm going to file, save as. Save it as your last name. And then I would do multi and then camera. Because we're going to do multi-exposure again, of course. But I would do multi and then camera. So you're going to need 4 of you in there, okay? And then you're going to need to put it on paper. And you're going to, state this multi-exposure. You took 4 pictures. You put yourself in various positions. Your ISO is probably high. You used a high f-stop to make sure everything was in focus. And you found the shutter speed. You need to put that on 11 by 8.5 paper. And you're going to save that as a PSD, and then you're going to save it as a JPEG and turn in the JPEG.